In the bustling town of Ipetu, lived an energetic 9-year-old boy named Akin. Everyone knew Akin, not for being the fastest runner or the best in class, but for his persistent begging for food. No matter where you saw Akin, in school, on the street, in church, or at a party, his eyes would dart around, seeking out someone enjoying a treat. If you were munching on groundnuts, chin-chin, sipping drinks, or unwrapping bread, you'd soon hear his familiar plea. Please, just a little for me. Let me taste. The strange thing was, Akin's family, Mr. and Mrs. Adams, though not wealthy, always ensured he had enough to eat. His lunchbox was often packed with different kinds of food like rice, yam porridge, juice, and snacks, sweets and drinks. One day, Akin was playing outside when his friend, Deli, came running, excitedly waving a small, wrapped sweet. Akin. My uncle just gave me this special imported sweet. Want a taste? Deli offered. Akin's eyes lit up. Oh, yes please. Just as Deli was about to hand him the sweet, another boy, Kwame, rushed over, looking distressed. Deli. Don't eat that sweet. My younger sister ate one just like it yesterday, and she got really sick. My mom said there was a bad batch going around. Deli's face fell. He quickly unwrapped the sweet, and they both saw tiny, unusual specks inside. Akin felt a chill. His desire for what wasn't his had almost led to something bad. Then one day, it was sports day at school. Parents came with coolers, food was everywhere, and children ran around happily. Akin's mother brought him jollof rice, chicken, 2 bottles of juice, and banana snacks. But of course, Akin didn't touch any of it. He went begging again, first to Tommy's mom, then to Aisha's dad, then even to the PE teacher, who was shocked. Akin, the teacher barked, go sit down. You've had enough. Later that afternoon, while everyone was dancing and eating, Akin sat by himself. His food was cold and untouched. No one wanted to play with him. Some kids even called him names. Food beggar. Mr. Longthroat. Akin's heart sank. He wasn't hungry anymore. He was sad. That night, Akin sat quietly at home. His mom noticed his silence. Akin, what's wrong? You didn't touch your dinner? He looked up, eyes watery. Mommy, today nobody wanted to share with me. They called me names. Mama Akin sighed and pulled him close. Akin, my son, it's okay to admire what others have. But always asking, always begging. People get tired. You have so much already. You just don't see it. But their food looks nicer, he mumbled. That's because it's not yours, his father added gently. What you have is enough. You just need to learn to be grateful and generous, too. But Akin's desire for other people's food was insatiable, old habits die hard. At school, Akin's reputation preceded him. During lunch break, he'd make his rounds. See me, that sausage looks so delicious. Just a bite. Deji, you have fried rice today. Can I try a spoonful? Tolu, that biscuit smells nice. Can I have some? Hey Chika, you brought dodo. Just give me 2 pieces. Oh. Jollof rice with egg. You're really enjoying? Let me chop small. Some classmates, out of kindness or weariness, would share. Others grew resentful. Akin. Why can't you ever eat your own food? You're always begging. It's annoying. Interestingly, sometimes Akin did have the same food in his lunchbox, but he still craved what others had. It was as if their food held a magical allure. At home, his mother's worry grew. Akin, this habit isn't good. I pack you plenty of food, don't I? Yes, Mommy, but Femi's biscuits look different. His father's warnings became more serious. Akin, if you don't control this habit, it will lead you into trouble. Akin would always reply with a contrite, sorry, Daddy. I stop, but the next day, the cycle would repeat. One sunny Saturday, Akin accompanied his mother to visit Auntie Remy, a seamstress with a small workshop attached to her home. While the women talked, Akin, feeling restless, explored the house. His eyes landed on a clear plastic bottle on a low shelf. It contained a vibrant golden liquid that looked remarkably like the popular juice he loved. As the two women chatted in the sitting room, Akin wandered around the house, looking bored. Then, he saw it, a plastic cup on the table in the corner. Inside was a golden-colored liquid that looked exactly like juice. Wow! Auntie Remy has my favorite juice, he thought, his mouth already watering. As he reached for the bottle, he noticed a small, intricately carved wooden bird lying beside it. It was beautiful, and he picked it up, momentarily forgetting the juice. Auntie Remy, noticing Akin admiring the bird, said, "Oh, you like that? My late husband carved it. Be careful with it, Akin." Akin carefully placed the bird back. The distraction made him pause, just for a moment, to really look at the bottle of a juice. And he remembered it again. There was no one watching. Without asking or checking, Akin quickly grabbed the cup and gulped it down. Within minutes, his stomach twisted. His throat burned. He gasped, dropped the cup, and clutched his belly. "Mommy. My chest. My stomach. It's burning." His mother ran in, panicked. The cup was on the floor, and the room smelled strange. She shouted, "Oh. That's not juice. That's the liquid soap Auntie Remy was using to clean fabric." Screams, tears, a frantic rush. Within minutes, they were at the hospital. Akin spent 2 days in the hospital. He had to be given medicine to flush the chemical from his body. The doctor warned. "He's lucky. That liquid would have destroyed his organs. You must be very careful with him from now on." Akin's parents were heartbroken. His classmates who heard the story were shocked. And Akin. He lay in bed, weak and full of regret. For the first time in his life, he realized the danger of always wanting what was not his. The day Akin came home, he sat on the couch and said, "Mommy, Daddy. I'm sorry. I could have died because of my bad habit." His father nodded slowly. "We forgive you, Akin. But you must now become an example to others. Let this be your turning point." Akin promised. And this time, he meant it. From that day forward, a change began in Akin. He still noticed what others had, but the overwhelming urge to beg lessened. He started to appreciate the food his parents packed for him. At school, Akin became a new person. He stopped asking others for food and focused on enjoying what he had. He even started sharing with those who forgot their lunch or had very little. "Here, take some of my plantain chips," he told a classmate one day. "You can have one of my boiled eggs," he offered another. His classmates were shocked. Is this the same Akin? The one who begged for everything? Wow. Now he gives. Word of Akin's changed behavior spread. Soon, everyone began calling him Akin the Giver. A month later, the school organized a Gratitude and Generosity Day. The head teacher, having heard about Akin's recent experiences, asked him to share his story. Akin stood before the assembly. He spoke about his old habit of begging, the frightening incident with the fabric cleaner, the warning about the sweet, and how he was beginning to understand the value of contentment and sharing, and he promised to stop begging and start being thankful. He concluded by saying, "I learned that always wanting what others have can blind you to danger and make you miss the good things you already possess. True happiness comes from appreciating what you have and sharing with others." The room was silent. Then came loud applause. The head teacher gave him a badge that read, "Sports Medal, Contentment Champion." From that day on, Akin never begged again. He became known as a boy who enjoyed what he had and helped others without asking for anything in return. His parents were proud. His teacher smiled. And Akin. He learned the biggest lesson of all. If you always chase other people's things, you might miss the dangers in them. But if you value your own, you stay safe and joyful. As the applause died down, other children approached Akin, some even apologizing for the names they had once called him. They were inspired by his honesty and his transformation. That day, many students, who usually guarded their snacks jealously, started sharing with one another, creating a joyful atmosphere of camaraderie. The change in Akin wasn't just a fleeting moment. He consistently carried his own delicious meals to school and ate them with contentment. If he saw someone without food, his first instinct was to offer a portion of his own, not to ask for theirs. This genuine kindness earned him the respect and affection of his peers. He became a trusted friend, someone they knew would always lend a helping hand, or a tasty snack. One afternoon, Deli, the boy with the potentially harmful sweet, approached Akin. "Akin," he said, "I'm really glad you didn't eat that sweet." "You were lucky." Akin smiled. "We were both lucky, Deli. It made me think twice about just taking things without knowing what they are." They became even better friends after that, both having learned a valuable lesson that day. Years passed. Akin grew up to be a kind and generous man, always mindful of the needs of others. He often spoke about his childhood habit and the day he almost drank the liquid soap, using his experience to teach younger ones about the importance of contentment and the dangers of envy. He became a living example in Ipitu, proving that even deeply ingrained habits can be overcome with understanding and a genuine desire to change. And though he was no longer called Akin the beggar, the name Akin the giver and later Akin the wise remained with him, a testament to his remarkable transformation. The Contentment Champion badge became a symbol not just for Akin, but for the entire school. It sparked conversations in classrooms about being thankful for what they had and the joy of sharing. Other children, inspired by Akin's story, began to reflect on their own habits. Some who were prone to complaining about their meals started to appreciate the effort their parents put in. Others who were reluctant to share began to understand the happiness that came from giving. Akin's parents watched his transformation with immense pride. They no longer had to worry about embarrassing encounters when visiting friends or relatives. Instead, they saw their son offering help and sharing his belongings with a cheerful heart. It brought a new harmony to their family, a sense of peace that had been missing when Akin's constant craving for more had created a subtle tension. Even Auntie Remy, who had been understandably concerned about the liquid soap incident, was touched by Akin's change. She often told his mother how impressed she was with his newfound maturity. As Akin moved on to secondary school, his reputation for kindness and generosity followed him. He became a leader, not through demanding attention, but through his quiet example of contentment and willingness to share. He understood that true richness wasn't about having the most, but about appreciating what you had and using it to bring joy to others. His story became a little legend in Ipitu, a heartwarming tale of a boy who learned that the sweetest things in life are often found not in what belongs to others, but in the goodness within oneself. Years later, during a school reunion, Akin was invited to speak again. By then, he was a young man, known in the community for his thoughtful nature and his work in helping others. He recounted his childhood habit with a gentle smile, acknowledging the embarrassment it sometimes caused. He emphasized that his turning point wasn't just the scary incident with the liquid soap, but also the kindness of his parents and the subtle lessons he learned along the way, and the shared scare over the tainted sweet. He explained that true contentment wasn't about never admiring what others had, but about not letting that admiration turn into a constant craving that overshadowed the good things in one's own life. He spoke about the freedom he found in no longer being consumed by the desire for someone else's food, and the genuine joy that came from giving freely without expecting anything in return. Many in the audience, some of whom remembered Akin the beggar, were moved by his transformation. Some even shared their own struggles with wanting what others possessed, finding encouragement in Akin's journey. The story of the Contentment Champion had become a timeless lesson in their town, a reminder that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in gratitude and generosity of spirit. And Akin, once known for his outstretched hand, was now known for his open heart. Akin's transformation had a ripple effect within his family. His younger siblings, who had sometimes been exasperated by his constant begging, now looked up to him. They saw the respect he gained and the genuine happiness he exuded. They learned from his example, understanding early on the value of being content with what they had and the beauty of sharing. Mealtimes at the Adams household became more peaceful, filled with gratitude rather than the subtle tension of Akin's yearning for more. Years after his transformation, a large carnival came to Ipitu. The air buzzed with excitement, filled with the aroma of various foods and the sounds of music. Children darted about, their hands clutching treats. Old habits could easily resurface in such an environment. Akin, now a teenager, was there with his younger sister, Funmi. Everywhere they went, vendors were selling colorful snacks and drinks. Funmi, her eyes wide with wonder, pointed at a particularly enticing-looking tower of puff-puffs. Before Akin could even react, another boy, known for his own grabby tendencies, swooped in and tried to snatch a handful without paying. The puff-puff vendor, a stern-looking woman, caught him in the act. A commotion erupted, with the boy trying to make excuses. In the midst of this, Akin noticed Funmi looking a bit disappointed that the excitement had been disrupted. Without a word, Akin quietly walked over to the vendor. He paid for a generous stack of puff-puffs and, turning to the embarrassed boy, offered him a few. The boy, surprised by this unexpected act of kindness, mumbled a thank you. Then, Akin turned to Funmi, a warm smile on his face, and offered her the rest. The crowd around them, who had been watching the minor drama unfold, murmured in approval. The vendor beamed at Akin. "You are a good boy," she said. "Not like some others." Later that evening, as the fireworks lit up the sky, Funmi looked at her brother with admiration. "Akin," she said, "you didn't even think about begging for those puff-puffs. You just gave." Akin simply smiled. There's more joy in giving, Funk, than in always wanting. This incident at the carnival became another well-known story about Akin, further cementing his reputation as Akin the Giver, a boy who had not just overcome a bad habit, but had embraced a life of generosity. It showed that even in tempting situations, his transformation was genuine and enduring. In the wider community of Ipitu, Akin's story served as a gentle reminder. When children were seen constantly asking for things, parents would often refer to Akin's lesson. It became a local antidote, a way to teach young ones about the importance of appreciating what they had. The head teacher's initiative of Contentment and Sharing Day became an annual event in the school, inspired by Akin's remarkable change. Even years later, when Akin would return to Ipitu for visits, people would still approach him, not to offer him food out of pity, but to greet Akin the Wise or Akin the Giver. They remembered his journey and the valuable lesson he embodied. He became a symbol of positive change, proof that even seemingly ingrained habits could be overcome with self-awareness and a genuine desire for growth. His story was a quiet testament to the power of contentment to bring not just personal peace, but also a sense of harmony to the community.